All right, today we're going to unravel a really powerful story. It's all about faith, resilience, and, well, the art of letting go. We're diving deep into an idea called Tawakkul, and we're going to see it through the eyes of a weaver and his incredible trust.
I mean, think about it. It's a question we all bump up against, right? When everything you've poured your heart and soul into, everything you've built, just disappears. How on earth are you supposed to find your footing again? Where do you even start? So, to get to the heart of this, we're not going to wade through a bunch of complicated theories. Nope. Instead, we're going to take a trip to this quiet, beautiful valley and meet a simple weaver named Salim. And believe me, his story holds the answer.
Now, for Salim, this was everything. Every single morning, before his fingers even touched the threads of his loom, he'd whisper these words. This wasn't just some habit. It was the very foundation of his entire life, of his craft. It was his constant reminder of where his trust truly belonged.
And then, disaster. A huge, devastating flood just rips through the valley. In a matter of moments, the raging river swallows the entire market, and with it, all of Salim's beautiful cloth. We're talking months of work, his whole livelihood, just gone.
And this is where you see something amazing. While all his neighbors are crying out, frantically trying to figure out what they've lost, Salim, he just stands there, quietly, by the edge of the roaring water. No panic, no yelling. Just this incredible, steady calm. And in that silence, he says this. I mean, what an incredible thing to say. He didn't see the flood as just some random, terrible catastrophe. For him, it was an event with a purpose, a wisdom that he just couldn't see yet.
But let's be real here. This kind of faith didn't just magically erase the hardship. The reality of the situation was brutal. His work was gone, he had no money, and Salim went to bed that night with nothing to eat.
And in that moment, with absolutely everything material stripped away, his prayer was so simple, so powerful. He wasn't begging to get his things back. He was just stating the ultimate truth of his situation. When it all comes down to it, all he really has is his connection to the divine.
That very night, something happens. In his dream, he sees this incredible vision, a single shining thread of light stretching from his own heart all the way up into the sky, a symbol of a connection that could never, ever be broken. And then, a voice in the dream gives him this message. It's so powerful, right? He'd always put his trust in his physical craft, in the threads on his loom. But now, he was being asked to place that very same trust in the ultimate source of everything. And you won't believe what happens next. The sun comes up and the whole story pivots. A stranger shows up at his door, a merchant from a city far, far away, just looking for a place to get out of the rain. Seems like a total coincidence. So the merchant, he spots a little scrap of Salim's old work, something that somehow survived the flood. And he's just floored. He says he's been searching the whole world for weaving exactly like this. And when Salim tells him the flood took everything, the merchant doesn't just leave. He makes an offer that changes absolutely everything. Start weaving again. I'll buy it all. And there it is. The very same river that took everything away from him was the reason this new, unbelievable opportunity was delivered right to his doorstep. It's just a perfect, beautiful reversal of fortune.
So this brings us all the way back to that central question. How? When everyone else was falling apart, when he was facing starvation and total ruin, how did Salim stay so calm? Where did that strength come from?
And this was his answer. What a stunning analogy. He knew his role, you see. His job was to show up, to do the work with all his skill, to weave the threads every single day. But the final design, the grand, intricate pattern of his life, that wasn't up to him. That belonged to the designer.
And this right here, this is the heart of it all. Salim's entire story is a perfect picture of this concept, tawakkul. And it's not about just sitting back and waiting for things to happen. No, it's an active trust in a divine plan. It's about doing your absolute best and then leaving the results entirely up to God. You know, this idea isn't something Salim just made up. It's rooted right in Scripture. This verse from the Quran just says it all, doesn't it? It's a promise, really, that if you truly rely on God, God is enough. Salim didn't just know these words, he lived them. So, Salim's story leaves us with a pretty big question for ourselves. You know, he was a weaver, but in a way, aren't we all? We hold the threads of our lives, our jobs, our plans, our relationships so tightly.
What could happen? What kind of beautiful, unexpected patterns might show up if we just learned to do our part with passion, but trusted the designer with the final picture?